Hello and good morning, and I wanted to thank you for tuning in. We have a great show planned for you today, and an even better one on Friday the 13th, a brand new show made by our class. Thank you and enjoy.
Presentation of Up for Discussion. I am your host, Nick.
And I'm your co-host, Michael.
And what are we going to be talking about today, Michael?
Well, we're going to be talking about the differences between comic books and their movie differences.
Yeah, everyone knows that comic books, you can't have successful comic books and superheroes without movie adaptations to come along with them, regardless of whether they be good movies or not so good movies. We'll be covering all the things that went right, the things that went wrong, and everything else in between. So, Michael, what are your overall thoughts on movie adaptations of comic books and sequels that come with those movies?
Well, my thoughts on it is that you can't have comic books without movies, obviously. But sometimes you can't fit the comics into the movies because it would be too long, because the storyline and the exact details of every single comic.
Yeah.
I mean, there's at some point you're going to have differences, and some point there's no differences. And I think that if there is differences, then that could be understandable.
Yeah, definitely.
But if there's also little hints to future movies in future comics and like little Easter eggs, I think they're good too because they really tell the story in the way that the audience can understand and know and agree with.
Yeah, and that's one of the purposes that movie adaptations serve is bringing these characters to a more modern audience, especially with more recent films with like the series of She-Hulk and Moon Knight, who pretty obscure comic characters that really haven't gotten much cinematic attention. And those characters are now being exposed to a more mainstream audience and getting more recognition, obviously, with a. But people are now, and the whole point is that like people who haven't read these comics before, mainly younger people, are able to recognize these characters as pieces of cinematic history now. And with that, people are there's something for everyone there. There's stuff for the newcomers, the people that have never read like Moon Knight comics before. They see the series and they're like, "This is really cool. I like this. This is another great Marvel project." And the people who have heard of Moon Knight before, there's those little Easter eggs and teasers that you said thrown in there for more veteran and seasoned viewers and readers to actually enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, like, some people who have been reading comics for years, today's generation, some people think they're ruining it because the graphics and the storylines are not as good because there's people who were back in the 1950s through 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up to now, have read these comics and they know the story, but when they look at the shows and movies today, they can't believe that something so good, they think in their eyes, could be ruined. But today's kids and people who are starting to read these comics, they don't see it that way. And it's also kind of sad, but also kind of inspiring that maybe one day in future generations we can rebuild back to the way that it was originally in purpose. The purpose of the comics was made for to entertain us and give us inspiration to do good and whatnot. So yeah, I think the movies interpreting those comics is a good thing.
It is definitely a good thing for, as I said, seasoned viewers and newcomers. But one of the key variables when it comes to a movie adaptation of a comic book, or even books, in the case of like the Harry Potter series and the Percy Jackson franchise, is costumes. There's always some, especially when it comes to superheroes, there's always some sort of difference when it comes to translating your favorite comic book character that's only ever been seen in still images and maybe action figures into a moving, breathing character in a vibrant movie. And most of the time, what that boils down to is dull the colors. Make in a case like Batman movie, a lot of DC movies in general, make the colors a lot darker, turn up saturation or turn down saturation a little bit. Same with exposure, and there you go. You got your movie costume. Maybe some things are changed around here and there, like with the more modern Spider-Man movies, but like costumes pretty much have a history of following their comic counterparts pretty well. And there are definitely some really good movie exclusive costumes that have been seen in the past, like the Amazing Spider-Man and the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Not to mention like Doctor Strange's. Doctor Strange is one of my favorite comic book variations.
Now you talk about suits. I wonder how it feels to fit inside those, like when you're filming in movies, because they have to make the suit to look like the comic books. But in the comic books, it looks like it's fitting perfectly. But in real life, we know that's not possible unless there's like makeup or prosthetic stuff to hold the suit to your body. And you got to wonder what it feels to do that. I mean, somebody must have a very good tolerance to do that, to dress up as kids' favorite superhero and act for them. So if you just think about that, that's just amazing, because if you have the tolerance to do that just for these kids and for these people who have read these comics and have experienced the stories and the adventures of these characters, it's just amazing because honestly, I wouldn't even do that, and I like all the comics because honestly, the suit would just feel terrible. But the fact is that they do this is just amazing, and I think that is just perfect.
Yeah, and with the case of older, when it comes to more modern superhero movies, people, the costumes are way more practical, but they also have a lot more special effects going in with like Spider-Man's moving lenses and the Eye of Agamotto. Every bit of Iron Man's, actual armor is CGI anymore. I've seen behind the scenes footage of Infinity War before. It looks like he's wearing, those things that football players wear under their jerseys to make them like bulkier, right? It's just very minimal, and it makes you appreciate that much more all the CGI and special effects that are thrown into that to bring these characters to the big screen and make one of the highest grossing box office movies of all time. That is Avengers Infinity War. So one other point that we wanted to mention was, speaking of Marvel, the downfalls of more modern superhero movies, specifically the sheer abundance, and with the inception of stuff like Disney Plus, we've been seeing a lot more of a move to streaming-based exclusive movies and series, which it's a good thing for some people, but like most of the coherent story, the main storyline going into phase 5 and 6 is reserved for the movies, right? And most of those movies do still hit theaters, but obviously they're also available on streaming services day and day. But series are where it kind of comes to a crashing halt. Everything just kind of like, it feels like they're separating so much of the experience from the theater and the home, which, yeah, you have to pay for a ticket and popcorn and whatever to go see the movie, but you also have to pay for a subscription to watch the series if you really want to, and some movies and specials that are exclusive to the streaming service. How do you feel about that?
Well, the thing is, I think it's way too much to pay for a streaming service when you can just buy the movies and keep it for yourself. I mean, discs, yeah, they may be able to break and whatnot, and digital, you can just watch it whenever you want. But the thing is, you have to pay so much money just to watch your favorite shows, like She-Hulk or WandaVision or all the Marvel shows that they have on there, or movies, because these movies have been around for a long time, and you would think that you would be able to watch it.
Well, let's not talk anymore about the bane of Mr. Nadell's existence, CDs. I think that's all the time we've got here. So without further ado, I will see you all later, and we'll actually come back after our commercial break.
And let's see, Mr. Lee, you're up next. Hopefully we can get you out of here today. Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee! Mr. Lee! No pulse, no breathing. Code blue, code blue. Start CPR, get the AED hooked up. Here's 0.3 milligrams of epi. Epi is in at 1310. Here's an amp of atropine.
Deliver shock now.
Shocking.
Welcome to medical assisting.
Medical assisting helps train students for the medical field in today's administrative and healthcare industries.
We spent a lot of time learning about a bunch of hands-on skills that I think are going to be really useful for my career and getting onwards with my life, as well as just life skills. So if someone's in trouble in my personal life, I can always invite some insight into the situation and help them out.
It's a little bit of everything to where you can pursue outside of school. So once you graduate, you'll have something in the career field that you want to go out, like phlebotomy, you'll have that.
I like the environment. Everybody's really friendly in the classroom, and Miss Crowley is like a mom to all of us.
And I love this class. I'm glad I took it.
Starting in Wellsville in May of 2021, Gracie's Primitives has recently moved to Portville. But don't worry, because we will continue to serve the community by offering affordable and unique decor and gifts. Open Wednesday from 10 to 5, Thursday and Friday from 10 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4.
Good morning on a kind of rainy Wednesday morning. I am your host, Keaton, and this is my co-host,
Riley.
Today we're going to be talking about social media trends, 3 in particular, digesting them a little bit, kind of explaining of why the bane of our existence happens. First, you have to talk about the most recent trend. Riley has never heard of this, the Family Guy TikToks. I don't know if any of you watching understand what I'm talking about, but recently on TikTok, there's been this trend where they would take random gameplay footage and put it over a clip of Family Guy. It originally didn't start with Family Guy. It was like a whole bunch of different movies and TV shows, but recently it's settled on Family Guy. And it's some like copywritten off-brand Japanese one where they have like Japanese text on the bottom, like probably for, I don't know, non-copyright or something weird. But recently it's been getting so bad that like almost the only thing I see in my For You page is just Family Guy after Family Guy after Family Guy. And then it's taken this weird, scary turn. Well, they'll like edit the clips and it seems like you're just watching like a random like Family Guy clip, and it would edit them into some weird, creepy, horrifying amalgamation of whatever it's supposed to be. So I don't understand any of these trends that we're talking about. It's just random things. So that's the first one you have to talk about. And what's the second one, Riley?
The devious lick.
You want to explain what that is?
So apparently it's like students just going into schools and just like taking like random stuff from the school. Like there have been times where someone took like a water fountain or something.
I know, it's getting so bad. I remember, so this is maybe about a year ago. I think that's when we Googled when this all started, like got really bad. And it came so bad to the point where I would see them on TikTok and not even believe that they're real. Like you're saying, like someone like stole an entire water fountain and will just stuff them in their bag. And it's like, I did a devious look. Like, I don't understand any of these trends. Did any of the devious licks happen at your school?
No, they haven't, but I'm surprised it hasn't.
At my school, I don't know if it was inspired by the devious licks or it was a devious lick, but somebody in the 8th grade hallway at Portville Central School took our soap dispensers, and they're still gone. And someday I'm going to figure out who did it. Okay, I want the news to spread. Who took my 8th grade soap dispensers in my bathrooms? Because it still hasn't been replaced to this day. It's just, these trends, the more we go down, the more obscure and just weird they are. Like, yeah. That was a really big trend for a good solid 3 months maybe, and it just progressively got worse and worse to the point where administrator collectives had to like put announcements on, like, if you support the devious look challenges or if you're participating, there will be consequences to your actions.
I'm honestly surprised that like people don't notice, like when people like take it.
Some of them have got to be satire, because you know, how do you walk away with an entire drinking fountain in your backpack? Like, it's just so weird. I don't understand any of it at all.
Yeah.
I guess people just think it's funny. So if you at home think the devious lick challenge was funny, I will come for you and I will find you. If you stole my 8th grade dispensers, I will find you. All right, moving on. The last one we have is one that you have seen quite a bit of.
Yeah. It's the Bentelect Stitched. So there's this TikToker named Bentelect. He just like reads tweets and memes and like literally laughs at like every single one of them. Like there are some of them that's like not even funny, but he still laughs at them. And so like there is this like Stitch thing after his videos that's been going around, where this like guy, he has like a really creepy voice. I don't know how he like does that voice or something. I don't know if it's like an audio thing or something.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. That's another TikTok trend that was all over my For You page. It would just be one after another, after another, after another. And I used to watch, what was it? It's like Benedict or something. Bentelect. I used to watch him on YouTube Shorts a lot. And he would laugh at these, silly little Facebook mom memes. And like I got a little chuckle at him. But apparently people did not like it because they would take these cursed images and just like stitch them out of nowhere. Like it would be just him laughing at it and be like, it would stitch it, and it would be like a random picture. I think you said there was like one with like a cow or like a horse in a field that it's like in the middle of the night, and it was like, Benny boy, we're in your walls, Benny boy. And it's like, okay. It just became another big thing. Actually, we have a perspective. Ryan, this is the Ryan cam, everyone. Ryan, what do you think of the Bentelect TikToks? Have you ever seen? Ryan, what do you think of the Bentelect TikToks? Have you seen any of the Family Guy TikToks? Are you a Family Guyer?
I have. They were all over my For You page. You can't get away from it.
But it's kind of addictive, though. Like, it's the gameplay footage, I'm telling you.
I've watched, like, at least 40 Family Guy episodes. And it'll be, like, part 1, part 2, part 3. And it'll be, like, gameplay on the episode. Have you seen the knife flipping one?
Yes, it's always the knife flipping ones. It's gotten so bad where I'll go in the comments and it'll be like episode ? And then I'll like find the episode on Hulu and just like finish watching it because I'm addicted now. But you can't watch them without the gameplay footage. You got Ryan a microphone.
I got a microphone. You can hear me now, right? Ryan Cam's back. No, I don't even need these headphones.
Ryan, have you ever? Ryan, have you been participating in the devious lick challenges?
I remember stealing like a soap dispenser at Portville. It was like the 8th grade one.
You're not funny. Not funny. I will find out whoever did that. I know it's not you, Ryan.
The soap dispenser. It was.
Was it plain
amazing.
silver or painted white?
Ooh. It was painted white.
Plain silver. With a little circle, and it was blue soap. Okay, yeah, you stole a different one. I will find out who did that one of these days before I graduate, because how much like ruined. I had to bring hand sanitizer to my school because somebody keeps taking the soap dispensers because of the devious lick challenges. It's sad. I get emotional because.
do you just like cry all over like for it?
No, because at first I thought it was funny, and I'm like, ha ha ha, the school's gonna fix this in like a matter of no. 8th grade. It's been 3 years, and they still have not.
It's been that long.
It's been 3 years, and they still have not like replaced them.
I would have thought they replaced it by now.
And I know there is rumors, but I don't know who took it. And I want to know because I want my soap dispensers back. It's scary.
Yeah.
So, reflect and everything. You have not seen any of the Family Guy gameplay footage.
I have not, but I'm thinking about looking it up tonight.
I will give you a fair warning. They are very addictive. So if you've seen one, it may just be an immediate sign to just keep scrolling. Yeah. Devious looks, we covered that. I will find who you are. And Bentelect TikToks.
Yeah. I like out of like all of them, I just feel like that like humanity right now, like it's just what it turned into.
This is what trends are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed our little segment, and make sure to stay tuned on Friday the 13th at 10 a.m. with a brand new show by our junior class. So I thank you all, and hope you have a great night.